What's going on, guys? Connor Unchained. We are back today. We just had a Bitcoin hit all-time highs yet again. Second time in March, it's been making new highs. Let me get rid of these drawings here. Kind of crazy today. It has been absolutely nuts, and it looks like longs and shorts are just getting liquidated. Lots of volatility. Literally March 5th, we had Bitcoin just barely crack its old high. I think 69.2, just underneath that. Instant dump, mega dump. And that was on, the literal 5th. So on the 5th, it hit all-time highs and had over 10% dump. That's wild. It circled back up, and it literally just hit just over 70K, which is crazy. $70,000 per Bitcoin. Instant dump again. Honestly, the momentum on Bitcoin is looking very strong, though, still, in my opinion. It could be as simple as just, zooming out, just looking at how heavy the momentum has been. It's just nuts. And even on the short term, we'll go to the 30-minute here. Ooh. Yeah, I got so many drawings. I'll show you guys in 1 second. Yeah, just watch this momentum. Like I said, now we got multiple resistance points where Bitcoin has just been trying to break and trying to break. And this is not necessarily a bad thing by any means here, because we got momentum just trending up. Yeah, it's dumped pretty heavily. Momentum's trending. I would not be surprised to see this pull back one more time, if it does, before attempting to break through it again. But I think if this can hold this momentum here, continue up through it, and going into this resistance area, but what is it, higher lows? Yeah, and higher lows continue to form going into this resistance. It's going to be very key to actually seeing this eventually just break through. So that's personally what I'm betting on. Hold up. Let me quit Telegram out. So we got Bitcoin doing that. So yeah, it's been a wild, honestly, week and a half. We still have altcoins doing well. A lot of alts are doing random things right now. Yeah, if we just zoom out on the daily here too. Because yeah, right now Bitcoin is at 68. So I was just doodling just to see potentially where Bitcoin actually could go and what kind of price action we can expect to see over the next, 6 to 12 months. Because if you guys watched my other video the other day, I talked about how I'm going to be playing this market right now. Definitely focusing more on a shorter term bull market, than a long term hyper bull market as of right now. Because many of the altcoins that, I'm in, that we're all in, I have very important price targets that are already set. And once certain coins hit that price target, I'm going to be out probably 60, 80%, if not more than that, But again, it's still fairly early for where this could go. This was kind of a doodle in which potentially could happen. I don't even know if I want to call for over 100K Bitcoin right now. But it does have the strength to just continue to run. I think a lot harder, breaking through all-time highs, pushing very heavily up, before we even have any sort of major correction. And that's what I mean by correction, guys. When you see a price moving like this in a huge dump, that is the kind of correction that I'm waiting for in the market. Again, whether it is a few months out, once price really breaks through all-time highs and continues, that's something I'm looking for. Or, worst case too, if we zoom back in here, worst case, this kind of does fumble around, in that little area I was talking about. Holding the momentum, but if it decides not to break through, in my opinion, we could see heavy downside, at least into low 60s, if not lower than that again. But this is, again, if for some reason, the momentum kind of completely goes against everything right now. So I'm just going to bring up some alts. I'm going to close TradingView because this is just lagging like crazy right now. Let me pull up. Yes, leave. We're gonna go to CoinGecko here too, because again, we got so many things that have just been running, and a lot of stuff's actually been pulling back. But meme coins, like, bro, come on. Like what is this? Like, why is I don't know why that one's running. I don't even want to give it the credit, but meme coins have just been going nuts too. We're definitely back. And honestly, there's been a couple top signals in my opinion that I've seen. And again, we're not even really at the top yet. We're not even past all-time highs, but people at certain coffee shops that have been talking to me, they're talking to me about Bitcoin because I go to certain coffee shops pretty often. But yeah, a lot of people are literally talking about crypto. Lots of people bringing it up now, asking me about it. It's getting to a point where I feel like retail is trickling in heavy right now. So it's definitely something to watch for. Again, it's probably a very good thing as of right now. If you guys have been in quants, QNT, this thing has actually been a stable coin for the last 4 months. It's unbelievable. I can't believe this hasn't moved. And I never talk about quant. I just want to bring that up because I'm like, I have it starred here. Because months ago I wanted to get into it. And I'm like, I just cannot believe it has barely moved. It's nuts. But yeah, like I said, market's just been moving. It looks like a lot of like top 100, top 200, top 300, mid caps to like large caps have been pumping pretty heavy over the last few days. I feel like it's been a mix of that, and obviously micro caps are always going crazy. Because when a coin launches, they're always going to launch at very small market caps. So the gains to be made there are very exponential, but the risk is also so high. It's very increased there. Yeah, like I said, market is still killing it. I really do think we're going to see Bitcoin all-time highs very soon. Again, I've been a bear in this market for a long time. But I think just based off the momentum right now, this is more than likely can break through. And again, I'm always waiting for a heavy dip because if it comes, that's going to be the final golden entry to get into this market. I think once we're way past all-time highs, I don't even know if I'm going to be buying on major dips because I'm already going to be allocated. We're all going to be allocated almost fully already, So it's going to be important to get in on a dip, especially if it can come before this really cracks into new highs and continues to push through, through 70, through 80K. If there is some dips down to 50, 55, 60K, that's it. That's going to be the golden entry. I really do believe for the rest of the bull run. So again, if you guys see a dip right now, I would not be worrying about it. I think it's going to be the healthiest dip that the market really needs. It has just been up only for months now. This right here, in my opinion, that's not a dip. That is not a major dip. This right here looks like a major dip. But at the same time, this was when Bitcoin was way into all-time highs. Again, so there's a good chance a no dip even comes because this is where I feel like we are in the cycle right now. In comparison to last year, yeah, like we're not. I suppose I've been frozen this whole time, but I do realize like we're not even. The halving still hasn't even happened yet. We're in March. The halving happens in just over a month still. But in comparison to where we are in the last cycle, we are basically right here. Last cycle, 16, 18, 19 was the top. This is kind of where we are right now. And I do believe this is why I really do think that potentially we might have to play this, altcoin rally early just throughout the next 3 to 6 months. Because from here, it went from December into April. A couple months span of up only before everything corrected dramatically and then tried to push up again. Which, I don't know if it's going to be some sort of double top like this for this coming bull run, but no one can predict it. But as far as like ETFs though, it's going to be an interesting, and it could be a very long couple years here with this this bull market. And like I said, I have very set targets for a lot of my altcoins. Because again, it's like when you're in this market, it's very important to have targets set, guys, because one of the biggest things, especially if you have like moon boy targets, like you're calling your meme coin that you're in to go to 50 billion in market cap, like some ridiculous shit. More than likely it's never going to hit that. Once you have set realistic targets for certain coins, you should have an exit strategy as far as you should be selling part of your bag, 80% of your bag, once your like target is hit. And I've had that set for many of the altcoins that I hold. I think it's very important in a bull market like this. But again, I think there's still going to be months of upside, even if a major correction comes, whether it's now or a correction comes in the next 2 to 3 weeks, or a correction comes in a month. But I personally, it looks like I'm getting like local top vibes at the same time. The market is just so beyond euphoric right now, even though retail is not fully like head first into it yet. But right at the same time, it's just based on where it looks like we are in the cycle, we're still not, I feel like, at a peak yet, not even close. Again, we're still under all-time highs, so it's always hard to predict where Bitcoin's going to go and what's going to happen in the market. It's just tough. I feel like last bull run, we definitely did expect Bitcoin to run like crazy because the market cap was definitely a lot smaller down here once it really started to gig ascend. But now we got Bitcoin sitting at 1.3 trillion, definitely a little bit larger, or a bit larger than it was down here when things started pumping. But I think just with the amount of institutional money flowing in and eventually retail jumping in again, like there's no way that this is going to be some sort of top. We're probably going to see a couple trillion, maybe another trillion to a couple trillion coming into Bitcoin like nothing. And I'm not saying that's going to be the top of Bitcoin. I'm just saying I think having a ton added to this market cap from here is not even out of the question. I think it's going to be fairly simple. I feel like there's going to be a lot of FOMO towards the end of the year especially. But again, that's how I'm going to be playing this game. I talked about it in the other video. Like, this is basically where we are right now. I think the halving, I don't know what's going to happen to Bitcoin once the halving hits. I don't really know how it's going to be priced in. Because before, usually when the halving hits, nothing really happens. But months after the halving hits, because of Bitcoin, the block rewards or mining rewards get cut in half. That's why Bitcoin is pumped so hard in the past, because it finally gets priced in again like 3 or 4 months after the halving. So we honestly could just see a giga rip for a while. Maybe we see a correction in April, May, or June, July. Has a correction like pretty hard for a little bit, and then once maybe the halving is priced in, a couple months after the halving, June, July, August, September, we could giga rip again. So it's going to look like boom, boom, boom. I would not be surprised to see that. Again, it's just, you never know what's going to happen in this market. It's so crazy, guys. That's what I wanted to bring up today, just a bunch of random stuff, mainly about Bitcoin, because, again, I feel like people should not be panicking, shouldn't be in fear right now, even though, again, we're starting to get into uncharted territory, again, because we are literally hitting all-time highs way before the halving, and this has never happened before in Bitcoin's history. So I think it's just very bullish for the short term and very bullish for the long term, as in the next 6 months to a year. Just got to play it by ear. And once real euphoria starts hitting the market, I'd say, especially if Bitcoin can go over 100K, that is going to be such a mental price point for so many people to be like, oh my God, Bitcoin is now over $100,000. That's going to make everyone turn their heads and start looking. if they're not already looking into the market. But again, I don't want to predict that Bitcoin will hit 100K in the short term, in the long term. Like, it's hard to know. But yes, it definitely has the potential to run multiples from here. So just keep that in mind. And again, we're going to be playing this market by ear, trying to be as safe and secure in it as possible. But that's what I got for you guys today. Just a little update. So from here, I will see you in the next video. Thanks.